Hello and welcome to the Roughneck Minute, a Movies by Minute podcast where we go over the movie Starship Troopers 1 minute at a time. I'm one of your hosts, Matthew.
And I'm your other host, Johann.
And we're at minute 67. This minute begins with Kitten getting attacked by a warrior and ends with the screen going black and Rico crying out. So, I mean, gosh, we're being left at a cliffhanger now on this minute.
I think it's the end of the movie.
We're about an hour and 6 minutes in. This is a full-length feature film, pretty much.
Yeah, I think this is our, what's it called? Attack of Titan, where the main hero dies and then we move on.
Yeah, and then the credits roll and says Rico was never heard from again. The end.
Yeah,
neither
he died
was
on
Carmen.
He died on a spaceship on the way back home.
Yeah. Oh.
But so it starts off with Kitten, obviously terrified of the warrior bearing down on him.
Yeah.
He's shooting wildly at it, taking away a few chunks here and there.
Not doing much, though, unfortunately, and it pins him to the ground and just starts mauling into him. Yeah. While that happens, Rico turns around, notices what's happening, and actually now that our last, what we talked about last minute as well, too, where we think this was probably two different shots, it definitely is now, because Johnny's kitten no is completely different from his first kitten no.
Oh, okay.
Like in the first one, it was like, kind of fast, like, kitten, no! But this one was like, kitten, no! Kind of thing, so it's a little slower. And Johnny starts firing wildly at the bug as well, too. He's lost a few people now, at least two. He doesn't know about Katrina, I don't think.
No, remember, she turned away from the group. She didn't pass until she was probably at the next squad over. Yeah.
So far as he knows, he's lost three people in his, what is it? The first.
Well, first he lost Wiley.
Yes.
Then he lost, Willie. Then Shijumi.
Mm-hmm.
Then Kitten. So he doesn't know about Katrina yet.
Not yet, no. Well, Kitten's not gone yet. Maybe he can try to save him, but as we'll see, at 10 seconds into this minute, no, he can't. The bug, again, uses his giant mandibles to just cut people in half.
Yeah.
And same thing happens to Kitten, unfortunately. He just gets completely and utterly just sliced. And honestly, I'm a little like kind of I don't know, this scene in particular kind of just did it for me when I was little. Like this is when my stomach was starting to turn as a little kid.
Yeah.
Like I really did enjoy seeing like violence and whatnot. It was kind of cool to see it, but this part, seeing Kitten's body or his CG body with one arm but no like lower body, no other arm and everything just got to me. And it's bringing back memories, honestly. I
think the part that got to me was because, I did see a lot of horror films. So bisection of people is one thing. The top half from the bottom half, it's pretty much standard nowadays. It happens a lot. But where the arm was missing, where it was kind of like a diagonal cut, that made it seem different.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Like, oh, no problem. You can see people cut down the middle or cut people in half or whatever like that. But this is diagonally, his, I don't know. Yeah, it really bugged me.
It wasn't like a run-of-the-mill type of bisection that you see in most movies. That just made it seem different and making it feel more real.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree on that one. And I think that's why even nowadays it kind of makes me feel a little queasy to watch this particular minute.
Not me. I'm all right.
Okay.
So
again, it really was impactful for me as a kid. So I'm just like, oh yeah, this one.
Yeah. But so it cuts off Kitten, throws a chunk at Johnny. Johnny tries to get back up. And then the cameraman moves in about... It looks like he's... I don't know. Seeing like he's... Like there's three people in the back of the Volkswagen Bug. He's really up close to this Bug.
He really is. He's his Vince McMahon is really, telling him to get into that shot.
Yeah, the hard camera.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, get in there. But yeah,
he's playing to the camera. The bug's playing to the camera. He's playing to you.
Yeah, but at like the 15-second mark, he seems to be like elbow to knee to this bug.
Really, he does. I mean, I don't think he noticed how close it was. It's like, oh yeah, I remember. I got a telephoto lens. Oh wait, did I leave it back in the? Oh no.
I guess I gotta get tied in on every shot now.
Mm-hmm.
So
wait, this may be a little too tight. Nah, this is cool.
Oh, you know what I just noticed? I will guess I was wrong on the last minute. The way the arm is shaped, I guess there is like an elbow to knee part on those legs.
Yeah.
So, but it still doesn't seem right though.
Well, this is not the CG. This is not the puppet. This is CG.
I know, but it seems like the puppet, it was straight out, and that's what confused me. Like the leg was straight out instead of bent downwards, then it comes back up.
It was a very quick scene too. I don't think they, expected people to watch it minute by minute. As we keep going through this movie, we get a lot of that.
Yeah, because it's just that section, like that part of the arm, we'll say, or the leg of that bug was extended out, whereas this one, they're definitely in a position to stabilize it. But that's where it looked a little bit confusing, because if you're looking at from like the way the bug is now, there's the first part of the arm, it goes almost straight down to stabilize it onto what looks like the elbow, and it comes up to like a knee part of the leg, so it's shaped like a lightning bolt. But in the shot where the reporter was in the mandibles of the warrior, the arms look straight out. That's why I thought, like, wait, isn't that where the knee is? So
yeah,
yeah, you're right. It's obviously something that you don't notice when you start to analyze everything second by second. But I think that's where I got confused of the positioning of where the knee should be on that shot.
As we keep going through this minute by minute as well too, I'm starting to think that the reason I like this movie so much is it's because it's one of those movies where you can just shut your brain off, not realize things are going on, and just watch it and enjoy it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, my wife has, she has a category for these movies, and most of them include like Ronald Emmerich movies, like 2012 and whatnot. It's fun, dumb stuff. And like there was a movie that was, I think, recently released, or I don't even know if it's released yet, called Geostorm, that she just straight up said, we're going to go see that on a date night. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to, but okay.
That movie looks so horrible.
It does, but she absolutely loves the whole entire destroy the world and, utter destruction stuff, just to turn her brain off and just to go and enjoy herself. I mean, she loved Independence Day too. I did too, but it was just, way too unbelievable.
Yeah, I guess, but...
I mean, far be it from me from saying that, aliens coming down and destroying pretty much all the world in Independence Day 1 was completely and totally believable, but Independence Day 2, man, can't pull the wool over my eyes.
Yeah. But, oh god, it just looks so bad. But anyways.
It does. Again, turn off your brain, enjoy the movie, basically.
I don't think I could, though. That's the thing.
I mean, we tried to do the same. The only way I can really do it nowadays, especially because I'm old and I'm just like, this is $13 going down the drain to watch this movie. Like $24 if we're going to go together, and then, an extra $10 to $12 if we're getting snacks. So we're looking at like maybe $50 on a night. I usually do it if it's either on Netflix, HBO Go, or, on cable, because, I mean, what was it? San Andreas was on HBO a few months back, and we watched that, and that's a dumb movie too, but I wouldn't have paid for it.
Yeah, but for me, it's just I don't know. I'm not too big into disaster movies, so that's not something I can use to take myself out of everything that's going on. Okay. Movies like that and like San Andreas, like it doesn't matter what's going on. I just can't shut my brain off because I can't enjoy it to begin with.
Okay, like so you didn't like Volcano with Tommy Lee?
No.
Oh man, that's one of my favorites. Are you kidding?
Yeah, I just don't like them. I really don't. Any disaster movie that only revolves around the actual disaster, for some reason, just doesn't appeal to me. That's why there's certain movies that I never saw, even though they're good. I just can't get into them.
Like what?
What's the name of that movie? The one where they have to reset the center of the earth or something like that?
Oh, The Core. No, that was a bad movie.
Oh, I hear people love it. Like, it's just...
No. I mean, the premise is completely dumb and stupid, and it is a really, really bad movie. And that's another one where you turn off your brain to, believe anything that goes on with it. Because, again, the premise of this movie is the core is shutting down. It's not spinning correctly. And because of that, natural disasters are coming up on Earth, and it has to be secret.
Yeah. But
it doesn't make any sense, and it's super dumb. But again, it is, one of those. I honestly don't really recommend The Core unless you're really into these movies like I am. Like, I'll watch The Core maybe once a year.
And then, like, I know it's like a big one, but Armageddon, I couldn't get into it. Like, I tried. The cast seems good, like it should be good, but it's just a whole disaster thing. Like, I don't know, it's just not my thing. As far as movies go, it's not my thing. Trying to think of other disaster movies. I don't know. I guess it's just not my genre.
So now, when you were talking about Armageddon, I'm thinking to myself, Armageddon's kind of goofy and whatnot. But you know what it reminds me of, like, completely, and I don't know why it reminded me so much of it, but it reminded me of Con Air.
Oh, see, Con Air is great. I love Con Air.
Okay, yeah, but the thing is, the pacing is kind of the same thing. You still kind of got the weird jump cuts. You still got kind of the weird pacing that Michael Bay does. But I never, ever looked up the director for Con Air. It's Simon West.
Oh, okay.
And, he's done other movies. Mechanic, General's Daughter, Tomb Raider.
Mechanic's good.
Yeah.
Even the original Mechanic is great.
Mechanic, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, General's Daughter, Con Air, When a Stranger Calls. But he didn't do much except for, like, Expendables 2 and a couple others as well, too. But
Expendables 2 is good.
It was okay. I mean, I'm not really... I didn't put too much believability in Dolph Lundgren knowing that much about metallurgy or whatever the heck it was.
No, well... I don't... Okay, those type of movies I can shut off. Like,
okay.
Brain goes pop. Like, that's it. So Expendables 2, yeah, that one's good. The Cape. Oh, this was a great TV show. Have you ever seen this show?
No. Oh, I know it's... Yeah, I've never seen it, though.
Oh my god, this show is amazing. Did you know about it, though? Like, what it's about? So, it's this guy that... let's say... kind of like... Batman Guilty.
Okay.
Where he goes into hiding because he's trying to fight crime and corruption in the city. He ends up grouping up with what's it called? It wasn't a carny, but it was the ringmaster. And they teach him how to do what's it called? How to escape from stuff, illusions, and okay, let's see the list here. He becomes proficient in boxing, wrestling, hypnosis, escapology, funambulism, stage illusions, and some acrobatics. Okay, so funambulism is tightrope walking.
Okay.
So he does all these things to mimic a comic book hero that's called the Cape.
Oh, okay.
And the cape that he wears was this kind of like extraordinary cape that was used by a illusionist. So it's the only thing that seems supernatural is the cape.
Huh.
So it was cut short by NBC. Famous for ending a couple other TV shows. But yeah, this one, oh man. Okay, so Summer Glau is in this, so that's awesome.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, the Cape, I think it was on Netflix for a bit and maybe Hulu, but this one is worth seeing.
Huh. I'll definitely check it out. I mean, yeah, I never knew the premise of it. I don't think I had cable when this was coming out. Was it 2011?
Yeah, it seems 2011.
Yeah, I didn't have cable during that time. I still kind of don't. But
So,
I mean, there's other ways that I can find it.
yeah. So, let's see. He did Black Hawk Down.
He was an executive producer on that.
Oh, okay.
Still not bad.
Let's see. He did Keen Eddie. The hell is that? Oh, it was a TV show. I never saw that one. He didn't
do much after Con. I mean, Con Air is probably his best. Gotta say. I mean, best movie at least.
Well, he did Stolen with Nick Cage.
I don't even know what that one is. I mean, you might as well just tell me that he did Left Behind with Nick Cage, and I would have been like the same way.
Yeah, and it looks like he's doing a TV movie called, or he did a TV movie called The Saint. We did do a talk about that one before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm not a big fan of TV movies unless they're, Hallmark Channel Christmas movies.
But did you see what he has with a no announcement date yet?
No, I didn't see that.
The Blob.
Oh, a new remake of that? Nice.
Yeah. So
okay.
This guy's going to be doing The Blob, it seems like.
I can probably get behind that if it's going to be goofy.
Yeah.
Like dumb goofy, but good goofy,
But at least he did the original Tomb Raider, which was a good movie.
It wasn't bad. I did like Cradle of Life a lot more, though.
I actually never saw that one. I don't know how that happened. But I just never saw it. Oh my God, how is this not known? Oh God, okay. Everybody listening, Simon West. It says what he's known for is Con Air and The Expendables 2. What he's known for, which should be at the top of the list, we should have mentioned this. He directed the video for Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
So the same guy that did Never Gonna Give You Up also did Con Air.
Oh, my goodness. I cannot believe that.
What you learn on this podcast, I bet you nobody said this before, but the guy did this one.
No. Wow.
He directed Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up.
Jeez.
How awesome is that?
That's great.
So this tangent had a payoff. Amazing.
Why do I still feel dirty? I don't like this tangent at all. I want to end it.
Yeah, I love the feeling. It's on me. Oh, I love this feeling. It's that feeling of like killing that final kill and you're just covered in the goo. It's not much when you scraped it off your boot. I love it.
Bringing it back home. Nice.
I know. So... Yep, use the line that was used in the podcast we're actually talking about, which is Starship Troopers.
It goes around. Time's a flat circle, everyone.
Yep. So we're about 15 seconds into this episode.
The cameraman gets killed.
Yep. Gets speared by, looks like a leg. It wasn't exactly the scythe arm or whatever that it has. It used like it just pierced him with the leg real fast. It's like, boop, you're dead. Like quick melee.
Yeah, and then Rico just starts pumping lead into this bug.
Yeah. For me, I don't know. I've been playing a lot of Overwatch lately, so what goes in my head is the bug says boop, and then cameraman 100. And then that's If you play Overwatch, you get the joke.
I get it, Sombra.
Yeah, so. Bruh.
I did notice at this point, because I was trying to count the rounds, but because there's so many little jump cuts from him firing, I can't really tell, because it's anywhere between like 35 and 40 on this one. That's what I counted.
It's impossible to count the rounds at this point. I mean, the only reason why we assumed it could be cartridgeless at first is because of how many rounds they shoot without changing a mag. But he shot maybe like 80.
Well, so in this scene right here, he actually keeps trying to shoot at the bug. Like, you can see him panning the gun a little bit, but nothing comes out. Like, he's empty now.
Yeah, but he shot over in the last 5 minutes of the movie.
True. Yeah,
he shot at least 80 bullets without reloading.
Yeah, we haven't seen him reload at all, so he may just be at the end of his mag right now. The bug itself is down now. I mean, he, again, probably pumped, 30, 40 rounds into this bug alone?
Yeah, so it's just Space Wizard magazine.
Yeah.
So about 18, 19 seconds in, he's tearing the bug apart with the rounds. And at about 20 seconds, it seems like he's downed it for good. And here's a part that I actually love about this CGI that they did for the bug. About 22 seconds, if you pause it, there's like a magnesium flash that goes off in the background. So you see a couple warriors skidding around to the left of it.
Yes.
Right at it looks like the head of the bug where Johnny's been shooting at it. There's some holes in it and you get to see through the bug. I love that.
Oh gosh, I just noticed that too. Wow, yeah.
It's actually pretty awesome and I like that. And so he's trying to take down the bug as much as he can, and the bug is still trying to scramble at Rico, trying to get at him. And Johnny, he's probably used close to, it has to be close to 30 or 40 rounds right about this point on just one bug.
Yeah, and the bug itself, gives one last little, scream, lifts up its head, and then falls back down. Rico does sling his rifle, and we're at, 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 30 seconds. Slings his rifle over.
And at about 30 seconds, that's where he puts it down. He starts to put it down at 29 seconds. At about 30 seconds, you see the bug actually move one more time.
He's got one to death rattle, and he just launches his top mandible right into Rico's leg.
Yeah.
Grisly looking gore on top of his leg, just pretty much disables Rico.
It's actually pretty awesome because when he takes off that mandible because it's like it dropped its full weight onto it, and now Johnny has to lift the full weight of the bug off his leg to get it out of his leg, which is pretty awesome. But about 34, there's a brief shot of the viscera of the leg, and you can see some of the muscle tissue, which this director is just known for just like gore and accurate gore.
And he did it really well. I mean, this does look like muscle. It was pretty gross.
Yeah, I love that.
That's the thing. This part didn't have any problem with me at all. Like, he got killed. I don't know. Maybe I'm okay with like penetration gore, but being cut in half gore and everything like that, or like vivisection kind of gore, stuff like that, is not really my thing.
Yeah, and also like this scene where Johnny stumbles onto the ground screaming. This isn't the same shot that was in the beginning of the movie. He does fall closer to the camera and he starts crawling to it.
Yeah.
But Kitten is in the way of him and the camera.
And one thing I did notice too about the kitten body or the kitten prosthetic, it looked like it has stuff around its mouth, like it like threw up or something like that. It has like kind of like this bile and stuff around him.
Yeah.
It's pretty gross. But, Rico is, unfortunately, he's left behind. A lot of people there's no one around him right now.
Nope.
Just, dead kitten. Everyone else is just gone. And we hear another bug coming up, another warrior come up, and he slings up his Merida once again and just starts pumping his pump action, or his secondary weapon of the Merida, which is the underbarrel shotgun.
Yeah, the design of the Merida looks like it's a sawed-off shotgun because the barrel's so short on this.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's the thing, too. He probably shouldn't be firing it at that range, but, I mean, he really can't help it because he's already pumped so much rounds into the first one. He needs to know that he has to kill it. And, firing as fast as you can, as soon as you can, probably will get some rounds into it, but not a lot.
Yeah.
But any little bit helps, basically.
But here's the thing I've been thinking about the way the shotgun works versus a standard shotgun that we're used to. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a pellet shot. I think it's a slug.
That makes a lot. Yeah, it definitely does look like a slug.
Because even at the distance that they're at, there's no way you can have that much of a clustered shot into the bug to do that much damage. It would have to be a very concentrated blast, and since you have a short barrel, it's going to expand immediately, so you're going to get a bigger scatter. So that's what makes me believe it's a slug, because if you shoot that, it's just going to make one concentrated hole. So I think it's like a slug shot that's in there.
I was honestly thinking a little more flechettes, but that's just me.
Yeah, and a flechette would spread out, but with the carapace of the bug, would you use a flechette because it's not going to tear as easily?
True. Yeah, a slug does make a bigger hole and like expand a lot better than a flechette or even pellets would. Yeah.
Yeah. So
maybe they have they have buckshot in normal world. Maybe they have bug shot. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, that's what makes me think it's going to be a slug in the shotgun portion of the Merida instead of your standard pellet shot.
Okay.
It could be a sabot.
Oh, it could be a sabot, but I mean, I don't know. Like, would it be like a tiny little, like a small little depleted uranium thing?
No, we're not that far into World War Z.
Okay.
But if people don't know, sabot is spelled S-A-B-O-T. Basically, it's just gigantic needle points that shoot out of a shotgun shell. That's my theory about using it. Because I just really don't think it's going to be a pellet shot.
No, now that I think about it, yeah, it probably isn't at all. But he takes down that first bug that came after him slightly, but then there's a second one, and he's starting to lose steam. The rounds stop tapering off, and he gets maybe 4 or 5 rounds into this other bug before he, reloads with the pump action and clicks, but nothing happens. No rounds come out. He's out.
Yeah. So now that we're at the end of that minute, I wanted to go over everything that was different in the script, but it definitely cuts out a big reveal that we don't find out till later on.
Go for it.
But it explains why Johnny and Kitten are all alone a little bit.
Okay.
So they get the report of the retreat. Kitten looks up and he sees a purple beacon streaking across the sky. And Kitten says, I can see the beacon. A says retrieval. And everybody starts running towards the retrieval because they're all, essentially they're all in panic. A hopper pounces on Kitten, and that's how Kitten dies. So if anybody remembers the hoppers, the grasshopper looking one that isn't introduced till way later on in the movie, it's also the same bug that kills Wiley.
Yeah.
And this one goes for another headshot and decapitates Kitten.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it seems like that's like its forte. And then, so Johnny starts unloading onto the hopper, and the hopper is the one that puts a claw through Johnny's thigh, not a warrior.
Huh. So
the hopper seems to be more prominent in the movie than the warriors are. So it clamps its jaw around Johnny's leg, crushing the leg a little bit. And it's the same thing. It's the same damage on the leg. He still gets his leg damage. Dizzy starts freaking out. She's like, Johnny, where are you? And that's when she realizes that Johnny and Kitten aren't with her. So they were supposed to be separated. So that's how Johnny and Kitten are on their own. Johnny starts to fire at the 2 arachnid warriors that come at him, kills them. A third one comes up, just like in a movie. As it starts to go black, there's a what's it called, an off-screen voice that says "Take my hand."
Ooh.
Johnny reaches out and grabs a steel hand, dragging him back. So that wasn't in the movie. Obviously, there's a good reason why, but it is a huge reveal later on. And an awesome reveal in that, too.
It really is. I honestly, now that you've said that's how it goes in the script, I kind of don't like that at all. It's just way too on the nose. I like the reveal later on in the movie, the actual movie.
No, obviously, but with the voiceover that goes on, like if you've never seen the movie and you hear that there's a steel hand that appears, there's only one person that's been revealed to have a steel hand so far, and it was a recruiting officer. So you still don't know who it is.
That's true.
So it's not that bad. I mean, Verhoeven did a good job with the reveal. I think they're just on par with each other, which one could be used. I obviously do like Verhoeven's reveal, but the one that was written here is still not bad. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Because you still get that desperation that Johnny could have died in this scene. Spoiler, guys, he did. But
movie's not over.
Yeah. But I just think that what was written still good. I think you don't like it, or you're not favorable to it just because you already know a better version that was done.
Well, also I like it too because, I mean, at the very beginning of the movie, we were thinking, oh, Johnny's gonna die. You know, he looks like he had the warrior thing in his leg. He's probably gonna die. And then we go back a year and he's the main character and he's all gung-ho and, did it for a girl. It would be just so anticlimactic if, he just dies. Once again, we get a black screen and what if he's dead?
Yeah.
What if it's not, not about him? What if it's about humanity as a whole kind of thing?
Yeah. And obviously a good question that could arise is how, if a hopper took Johnny's leg, how come his leg didn't get guillotined off? We'll use that for a word. Remember, there's supposed to be a Marauder outfits here, so there's a little bit more reinforcement around the legs than it would of the head.
True, yeah.
So, obviously, if the hopper's just been taking out parts with just a single swipe, that would make sense with the decapitation, but with the leg, it doesn't, just because of the Marauder suit.
I would think if it's taking off heads with a single swipe, it probably could get pretty deep into the suit where it could probably at least touch bone. So he would still be pretty darn maimed at least.
Yeah, in the script it does mention that it catches a arterial vein, which it looks like it does in a movie. Like he's only got seconds in this movie, but I think it just matches up with the amount of damage that would have been done to Johnny. It's still the same that was done in the movie because they wanted to do a reveal in the hopper, B, a reveal on Ratchet. So they didn't want to give away the hopper yet, and they didn't want to give a reveal on Ratchet just yet.
Yeah, which makes a lot more sense, and as I said, I like it a little more.
Yeah, I think he just did a good job on the pacing, but I think the way the writer wrote it, he just wanted to show off the different type of bugs early because it's a huge battle, and it makes sense that there will be a lot more different bugs when you see just crawling around on the surface like this. Yeah, they wouldn't start to reveal themselves later on only when they need to, considering you're invading their planet, that you would see all of them.
Well, I kind of like that you don't see a lot of them. It just means that the whole entire squad, and they're retreating just for a small amount of bugs, honestly. How many did we see, in this whole entire sequence? Maybe, 30?
Yeah, but if certain areas are already getting overrun because that's where the ships are landed, then you know that you didn't have the ambush that you thought you would.
No, and even later on, I mean, we find out that Rico's group was one of the lucky ones.
Yeah. And we have been mulling over on the casualty list. If it says that there's a, it's in the next minute where it says how many died in 1 hour. But considering you're already on a retreat, your casualties should shorten in that period of time of when you left. They've only been on the surface of this planet for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So considering that, there's definitely been a huge escalation on killed in action that might be why there's just this general retreat, because it's like, oh no, if they say they're too long, we're going to lose everybody.
Yeah, and I mean, even if they have a general retreat, they may still have people on the surface, trying to get off, and they may have been added to that hour-long thing if, they're at like the 55-minute mark, but still haven't been, evac'd yet, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, this is like walking to a new area of an RPG, and then you see all the names with like skulls on it. You're like, I shouldn't be here. This is about similar to that. It's just like, okay, this is an overpowered area. I need to leave.
Yeah. But really, that's where that minute ends. Did you want to say anything else particular about this minute?
It's the same thing you said. This minute ends very, very awesomely at where it just fades to black.
Oh, it's so good. Well, where can they find you, Johann?
You guys can find me on Twitch and Instagram at JDASHD26. You can also find me on Twitter at OMG It's Johann.
And you guys can find me at AltTabMatt pretty much anywhere on the internet. But you can follow the podcast at The Roughneck Min on Twitter, MIN. You can go to our website, theroughneckminute.podbean.com, for any past episodes or show notes. Or you can also continue the conversation and talk about your battle scars, including any that you've gotten during the Clendathu drop, at the Roughneck Minute Billet, BILLET. I almost got my finger cut off one time.
I got the tip of my finger cut off, and it had to be sewn back together.
Oh, mine was just hanging on by like some meat, and it was because I accidentally stuck my finger in an underground safe.
Oh, that's crazy.
It was pretty gross.
Yeah. Mine was with a meat slicer at work.
Ooh.
Yeah, I heard that sink, and then I was like, ugh. And then...
You don't feel it, No. It's too fast.
Yep. So the tip of my finger was cut off, and I had to cut down my fingernail just to be able to stitch it properly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Scars are awesome, guys.
Oh, I have a lot of scars. Anyways.
Yeah, but guys, go ahead and subscribe, subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or any other podcast you guys can find. But I've been one of your hosts, Matthew.
And I've been your other host, Johann.
And we will see you on the Bounce Troopers.